Calvin's Institutes of the Christian Religion continued, still in chapter 15, looking at sections 3 through 4. Calvin continuing to teach on uh, the nature of man and his creation, and focusing in these sections now in particular on clarifying what is it to be made in God's image. And Calvin will basically argue, we could say in summary fashion, that it is the internal goodness of man's soul. And so what is the argument for that? Although some he pulls from history, Osiander and maybe even Tertullian would say it's likened to, in at least some part, his outward physical form. The scripture proof that Calvin gives, that I find fairly convincing, from Matthew 22 to signify, no, the image of Godness with which we've been created must be internal in a more exclusive way, because Christ relates in Matthew 22 that in the resurrection we're like unto the angels, who have only a spiritual and not a material physical form like unto us. And therefore we must also conclude that angels were made in and after the image of God. And therefore, if we're going to, even in resurrection glory with renewed physical bodies, obviously the body is of supreme importance, it's dignified, hence the resurrection of the dead, and yet we're going to be like unto the angels in the manner in which we represent God or are made in God's image. Well, then it must be of an internalized sense. Calvin in this section 3 also goes in and basically delineates that there are some in church history and in contemporary setting who would say there is a distinction between the use of the word image of God and made in his likeness. Calvin would say they're essentially interchangeable. That is, likeness is basically a further word to describe image. The competing arguments that are out there is that image refers to the substance of the soul, and then likeness is used to refer to its qualities, that is, the excellencies of man: glory, honor, knowledge, true righteousness, etc. These things that are renewed or redeemed in our image, in and through the person and work of Christ. And he's like, no, these likeness is just a word to further describe the manner in which we're made in the image of God. And so how do we discern the image of God in man? It's by the faculties found in the goodness of our immortal soul that's within man. That is, the ways in which man uniquely exhibit the excellencies of his creator in the creator's communicable attributes. That is, the manner in which we can exhibit elements that are like God's character, uh, common to the creature, not his incommunicable attributes. And so those communicable attributes in which we exhibit our image of Godness as we're renewed and recreated in and through Christ are knowledge, true righteousness, and holiness, language that the Westminster Standards pick up on because it's biblical. It's here language that Calvin is using as well. That's the manner in which we discern the image of God. It's those unique faculties by which man is unique among the creatures. Right? Monkeys and gorillas have hands and even humanoid-like features. We could say, and sci-fi literature has had no shortage of trying to invent humanoid-like creatures, and yet what makes any story or individual compelling is the manner in which they exhibit the image of God internally, that is, in those things that God has communicated to us: knowledge, true righteousness, and holiness. Yes, it's seen in how we carry out life in the physical form that he's made us with, which is good. We're not Gnostic. And it is seen and expressed in the way in which we establish dominion over the created order. These offices of Lord and Master, made to subdue and refine and better the created world around us. Clearly, our image is seen in that as an expression of what? Exhibiting knowledge, true righteousness, and holiness, not in merely having a physical form. Well, I hope that was a benefit of chapter 15, summarized sections 3 and 4. Thank you for listening.